Now in group discussion, sometimes candidates, when they go for an interview, they get intimidated by the group discussion round. Why? Number one, it is an unknown topic that is given. The topic is not mentioned to you. Number two, there are other students, probably they may be better than you, or maybe they have very intellectual points. And they are very talkative, they are very confident. So there are a lot of factors that are considered in a group discussion. What do you need to know? Number one, in group discussion is the idea, knowledge about the topic. Number two, what is the number 2 point? Communication skills. Now, when I say knowledge, it is GK, general knowledge, right? Number 3, confidence. 2, participate, actively. Knowledge about the topic. If the topic given is not common, how do you talk about it? In most cases, in group discussion, the topics given will not be known to you, of course, but they will not be unknown topics. They will be topics that are commonly discussed. So number one, what you need to do is you need to read the business news of a newspaper, okay? The business column of the newspaper, or you need to read the newspaper basically. Before going for an interview, you need to acquaint yourself with general knowledge also. There may be question answers that you have prepared well, but on the spot questions like the group discussion, how do you answer them? You need to acquaint yourself with what is going on around you, and the newspaper is the best way of getting familiar with what is happening, getting familiar with the news, getting familiar with general knowledge topics, okay? Mostly if you open the newspaper and you just browse through it, even for a few minutes, like 15 minutes to 20 minutes every day, if you take time, number one, your communication will increase. Number two, general knowledge will increase, okay? And you will not feel lost when a question is asked to you, a question like group discussion, okay? So in order to make yourself familiar with general knowledge, I would say you could either read the newspaper. It is a good habit for you. Like I said, you will enhance your communication skills. Also, you'll get used to reading about news and you will learn a lot. Secondly, you could just Google for topics, general knowledge topics. What is going on? What is going to be asked? So that is, the topic is known to you. Probably you have an idea, maybe this topic will come or that topic will come. A faint idea. You won't know the exact topic, but you will have an idea, maybe these topics will come, okay? So this is, you either Google for general knowledge topics or group discussion topics, or number two, you read the newspaper, especially the business news column. So two things, newspaper. Number two, Google for general knowledge topics or group discussion topics or GD round topics, and you will have a fair idea. When you pick up the topics, just ask yourself, what do I know about this topic? For example, summertime or mangoes, okay? the summer season or the mango season. What do you know about mangoes? Not just the physical features. What is going on? From where are they coming? From where are they exported? From where are they imported? What is the sale? Okay, so it's just an example that I'm giving you. So whenever you pick up a topic, before researching on the topic, ask yourself, this is the best way you will prepare yourself. Just write down the topic and write down what do you know about that topic, and you will know that if you are familiar, or if you have been reading the news, or if you are keeping your eyes and your ears open to listen to the discussions that are going on, you will know that these are the topics that are commonly asked for group discussions. Okay. Number 2, this is how you will prepare yourself in knowing what the topics will be. Number 2, communication skills. Communication skills while expressing or while participating in group discussion is very, very important. And remember, at the HR round or during the group discussion, people are watching your communication skills, and they're also watching about how much knowledge you have. You do not have to impress them with too much of detailed discussion or too much of details showing them that you know so much about the topic. If you discuss a few points, that is enough. It shows that you have a fair knowledge on the subject. But like I said, you have to focus on communication as well. How do you communicate the knowledge that you have on the topic? So your sentence structure, the grammar that you use is very important. And so in order for you to be able to communicate well, you need to practice or brush up on your basic grammar, and also sentence structure. Okay, how are the sentences structured? If you can learn the sentences, you can build your vocabulary and you can build on your communication skills. So whenever you discuss, you need knowledge first, an idea of the topic. Number 2, good sentences, good grammar. Okay, both of them can be learned. That is why preparation is very important. Number 3, confidence to participate actively in the group. There may be some people who are very active, who are very talkative. So if you have never taken part in group discussion, your first thoughts will be, I cannot do this. That is why preparation is very, very important. Just think about it. Maybe the other person is used to it. Maybe the other person has experience, and maybe the other person has the gift of talking and you don't. But if you prepare yourself well, if not longer sentences or a longer time of talking, you will be able to at least use a few sentences with your preparation. That is why you need to take time and pick up a topic and try to discuss it with yourself first. Later on, probably you could even discuss it in a classroom or among a group of friends. But if you don't have anybody around, you could just sit in front of the mirror and you could just pick up a topic and start talking about it, imagining as if there are other people and they are also participating. Now, when you want to make a point, for example, a topic is given and you know that people are watching you, whether you are participating or not. You need to take courage. The best way to get attention is you could just raise your hand and you could say, excuse me, I would like to say something. Let me just write that for you. Before that, let me just write knowledge, Number 1, communication. And number 3, need confidence to participate. Okay? So, you need to just say, excuse me, I would like to say something. Okay? The moment you say, excuse me, I would like to say something, you can say this. Now, the sentence structure is already something that you have already learned. So you know it is a correct sentence, and it will be very easy for you to interrupt them, as in do not interrupt people when they're talking, or when they're in the middle of a sentence or the middle of the topic. As they finish talking, or one sentence is completed, or one person finishes talking, you could say, excuse me, I would like to say something. The second thing that you could say is, excuse me, I would like to add something. I would like to add something. Now, if the group discussion is already going on, you know that they are already knowledgeable and they have been talking about it. Now, what is your contribution? Your contribution would be you're adding to what they are already saying. You know they have a knowledge about the subject, but you're not saying you are saying something different, but you are adding to what they have already spoken. Now, sometimes it can be a negative point that they have raised, or a point that you don't think is correct. In that case, you could say, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Okay? I would like to say something, I would like to add something, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Okay? And you can say you disagree when you are absolutely sure that their point is not valid, the person talking is not using a correct point, but you have a better point, you have a more correct point. Then you could say, in my opinion, in my opinion, I think it is. Okay, then give your point. All right. Also, if there is one person who's talking incorrect, all right, what he said is not correct, you don't agree with him, so you have already said, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Similarly, if somebody is making a lot of sense, you could also say, yes, exactly. Now you're just acknowledging what the other person is saying. Yes, exactly. I agree with you. Okay? I agree with you. Now you're showing that the person is making sense to you and you are with him. So you say, I agree with you. Now, even if you make this few points, few sentences, you are showing the person who is watching you or who's put you through the group discussion, you're showing that person that you are contributing to the discussion. That's why I said the topic knowledge is very important. Apart from the topic knowledge, communication. Under communication, the correct grammar and a correct sentence structure. This is what I mean by sentence structure. You have already learned the sentences, and Instead of learning words, you are learning sentences and adding it to your vocabulary. Vocabulary as in your English, your communication, your English communication, you are adding these sentences. So how do you add these sentences? You need to learn them. You need to first understand what does this sentence mean. You have to make sure there is no grammar error in it. These are already present, which I have given you, and they may be a list of sentences like this. You could just pick them up, write them down, make these sentences a part of your daily speaking, or make it a part of your daily learning. Once you learn these sentence structures, then you could be able to talk publicly using these sentences, and that is when you use it in the group discussion and you show that you are participating. Apart from this, make at least 2 to 3 valid points. And if you are familiar with the subject, or if you have been reading the newspaper, you have been preparing yourself with the GD topics, the group discussion topics, you will be able to contribute with at least 2 to 3 sentences to show that you are actively participating. If you are not really confident, your communication will give you a little bit of confidence. Also, practicing with your friends, practicing alone, practicing in front of a mirror will also give you confidence. Until you make a start, you will not know how the flow will be. For a first timer, if you have never participated in group discussion, it is understood the first time will be difficult for you. But if you don't take a step and if you don't participate, then you will not know your potential, how you can contribute in a group discussion or any answer. Now, group discussion is difficult because, especially if you don't have confidence, it can be difficult because at the interview, there is a one-on-one round. A question is directed only to you. The interviewer asks a question only to you. But in group discussion, you are not questioned. You are expected to come, join in the group and then answer. So if you are low on confidence, participating in group discussion could be little difficult. For that, you need to build your confidence. Number 1, I said, knowledge about the subject. Number 2, communication. Number 3, you need to have the confidence and the boldness to join into a group and then start talking. Like I said, if you are the first timer in group discussion or publicly, if you are not so used to or exposed to public meetings or gatherings or actively participating in a group, then it may be difficult, but you need to take the first step. Until you take the first step, you will not gain experience in this area or in anything. So the first time will be the time when you tell yourself, I'm going to learn. This is for my experience. So whatever I can contribute, I will contribute. Maybe I will not contribute much, but I can contribute little with confidence and preparation. That is why if you are low on confidence, you need to prepare, practice. And as you start getting used to it, as you go in publicly and start discussing, you get an experience, and slowly that confidence level which was low starts building up. You get little bit of confidence. Now in my class, usually this is how they get confidence in the interview preparation class. When I ask them to at least say one sentence, once they have participated, then they do not feel that it is so difficult. But if those who have not participated at all, they feel the fear because they have not even tried it. But those who have tried, even if they have made mistake, they make up their mind saying the next time we will go better prepared and maybe we will try to avoid mistakes. But if you don't try, then you don't know whether you're able to do it or not. And who knows, once you try, maybe you will get into the flow and you will really make sense and contribute into the group. So if you're a first timer, if you're not so experienced, if you don't have that much knowledge, subject knowledge, if you don't have communication skills as great as the others have, and if you don't have as much confidence as others have, then probably you don't have to initiate the group discussion. Also, you don't have to finish it. There will be people who are already used to it or who already have a lot of confidence. They will start and they will finish. You could just contribute in the middle of it. All right, and just few valid points, if not much, at least a few sentence structures which you already have prepared for. So now we are going to discuss on a few topics as to how you can participate in a group discussion. For example, the topic is, let me just topic is education system in India. How do you participate in this discussion, and what are the things that you can talk about in this discussion? Now get to know this topic, that you are already familiar with this topic because you're already studying. Okay, you are a student or somebody who's related to you is studying, so you have a basic idea of how the education system in India is. Okay, you have to remember 3 points again. Number 1 is the negative point. Okay, what is the negative part of it, of education system in India? Probably there is a lot of learning. Okay, you need to spend a lot of hours preparing yourself for the exam, or it could be something simple as people get really nervous, overwhelmed just before the exams, or they get their response to the results is very fearful. Okay, that can be the negative part of the education system in India. Probably because of the vast portion, people are unable to cope up or whatever. Okay, take the least person who is unable to cope up, and you could say some people, because it is not a general idea. Whenever you talk some negative or the drawback, okay, drawbacks or weak points, okay, it can be a negative part or a drawback or a weak point in this particular topic. Okay, but it does not mean that you insult others about it. You are just not giving a general opinion, but you are giving your point of view. Does not mean that that is the truth about this topic. Okay, whether it is truthful or not, it is your point of view that you are communicating. You feel there is something missing here. Maybe long hours of study is required for the education system in India. Okay, number 2, there has to be a positive part, or a merit or a strong point. It can be 1 point or it can be more than 1 points, here as well as here. Again, this is not a general opinion. Some people may say, oh, it is really good. Okay, there is nothing negative about this system. Our brain develops and we can learn much. There is so much of portion that it gives us a lot of time. We have 1 whole year to study until the final examination or something like that. But there may be some people, they find a fault. Okay, so it is not a general opinion, it is a person's personal point of view. Okay.